Hello, and welcome to Storytime Episode 3. This one we have 4 short stories from around the globe. Hope you guys enjoy. This number has been disconnected. A few years ago, my brother would get calls on his phone around 2 to 3 am every night. He would answer and always with this hellish sounding noise, like static mixed with screams. He changed his cell phone number after a month of this happened, and it stopped. Then after a week or so, it began again. The exact same noise, the exact same time. Finally one day he decided to back dial the call. It was an old man that had no clue what he was talking about. Still the calls persisted. If he didn't answer, it would call a few more times. No messages were left. He decided to say screw it, ended his contract with his phone company, switched to a new one, and then got another new phone. You guessed it, the screaming, static calls continued after a short delay. But this time he was terrified every night, unsure why this was happening. He backdialed the number again and got a different person. Around this time, he lost his job and his phone. The calls stopped, of course. His phone was disconnected now, so one day my mum asked me to listen to a weird message she got on her home phone. It was the static screaming. We showed my brother and he was freaking out. He backdialed the number again and said the number was disconnected this time. Never heard from it again after that. Checking the meter. My former teacher was home alone when she was a child, some point during the 70s probably. A man knocked on the door and she opened her main door but kept the screen door locked. He said he was from the gas company and wanted to talk to her parents. She told him they weren't home, and he, without missing a beat, tried to start to force his way into the home. When he found the screen door to be locked, he pulled out a fucking box cutter and started to cut through the screen. My teacher ran to hide in a clothes hamper in her parents' closet. She sat there for about 10 minutes before the police arrived. Thank God a neighbor saw everything and called the police, or she would probably be dead. Also, to put the cherry on the freaking creepy sundae, they found the intruder hiding in the attic. A ghost haunted the hotel room. A man goes to a bed and breakfast. While checking in, the owner tells him that the room next to his is undergoing some repairs, so don't open the door or anything. The man goes to his room, drops off his things, but then is bored. He pokes around the house a little and with nothing else to do, decides to see the room that needs repairing. He tries the door and it's locked. He wonders why the owner would even bother warning him about this room since it's locked anyway. Whatever. He peeks through the keyhole and the room beyond isn't actually being repaired. It's completely empty, except for a figure on the far side of the room sitting in a chair facing the wall. The man stands up, creeped out, just to make sure he wasn't imagining things. He bends down and looks through the keyhole again. This time he doesn't see the figure or the room at all, just a colored red, like someone was blocking the keyhole with construction paper. Weirded out, the man goes to bed. When he's at breakfast with the owner the next morning, the man asks him casually about the repairs in the next room. The owner sighs and says, "Truthfully, I don't rent that room out because so many people have told me it's haunted by a ghost with red eyes." Twisted portraits hung on the walls. There was a hunter in the woods, who after a long day hunting, was in the middle of an immense forest. It was getting dark, and having lost his bearings, he decided to head in one direction until it was clear of the increasingly oppressive foliage. After what seemed like hours, he came across a cabin in a small clearing. Realizing how dark it had grown, he decided to see if he could stay there for the night. He approached and found the door ajar. Nobody was inside. The hunter flopped down on the single bed, deciding to explain himself to the owner in the morning. As he looked around, he was surprised to see the walls adorned by many portraits, all painted in incredible detail. Without exception, they appeared to be staring down at him, their features twisted into looks of hatred. Staring back, he grew increasingly uncomfortable, making concerted effort to ignore the many hateful faces. He turned to face the wall, and exhausted, he fell into a restless sleep. face down in an unfamiliar bed. He turned blinking in unexpected sunlight. Looking up, he discovered that the cabin had no portraits, only windows. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed episode 3 of Storytime. Quite creepy, aren't they? The last one, when I read it, gave me chills. I was like, oh, I'd read some creepy stories before, and I've read several since, finding resources and details and stories for these. And honestly, I'm loving it. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.